Yeah, let's go. Shout out the mountain and fish. I got Iggy and Woods doing right for the culture. If you just here for the views and the likes and just put on the mic, you a vulture. They let me down, but the raps did it. They let me down, but the switch did it. They let me down, but the raps did it. They let me down, but the switch did it.
This is your boy Iggy.
It's your boy Woods.
You now tuned in to another episode of Hip Hop Hoops Podcast.
Yep.
Guys, man, just continue to keep supporting the movement. Listen, we appreciate all the guys who've been tuning in, liking, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff, man. It means so much to me and Woods. You guys don't even understand, man. Just seeing guys walking down the street and they're just like, continue to keep grinding. Like, we love your content. Yeah. All that stuff means so much to us, man. So we really, really appreciate that. Shout out to Title League, of course.
Distant cousins, baby.
Yes. And guys, go on the website, man. You can get some of this fly merch right here. See, my boy got the ill hat, ill merch, man. www.hhhoops.com. Get all the fly gear there, man. But let's get into it, man. We got a very, very, very special guest today with us.
Yes.
This is a long time in the making, man. We've been talking about doing this for a long time, and I'm so glad we're doing it now. Timing is everything, man.
Facts.
We got Dr. J in the building.
Yes.
Welcome. Let's get it.
Appreciate it. I love you.
Welcome, man.
Love, brothers. Appreciate you both. Listen, my wife made sure to tell me, listen, you got to tell the foundational story before you talk about anything, and give love and flowers to Woods, because
appreciate you,
without him, and I'm just being real with you, I would not have had my footing into the basketball community as much as I do. I'm a hungry guy, as you can see on my arm. I got my tats that basically tell me who I am, and relentless and passionate and strength. And part of that was when I finished school, I knew what I wanted to do. I saw myself as being the basketball guy in the community with regards to performance and injury mitigation. And there was this thing called Instagram back then. And I just hopped on there and said, listen, this is who I am. I want to get into the basketball community. How do I do that? Right. And he said, come to staff. And listen, I'm an East End man. So when he said staff, I was like, staff what? I have to put it in the Googles, and came down to Falstaff, and it was a beautiful, beautiful moment. Met so many great people that are still in my life right now. Yeah. And it's really awesome to see what you're doing right now. And we were off camera just now talking about your family, and back then you didn't have as much family as you do now. But it's been a real blessing to continue to see you grow and do what you're doing. And I'm loving the fact that I'm here.
No problem, man. I mean, when you hit me up, you just felt the energy. Mm-hmm. Just somebody so hungry. And I didn't really know too much about physiotherapy. Mm-hmm. Like going to Concordia, seeing our physiotherapists do their thing, and seeing a brother now in that field, the least I could do. You already know the Godfather, Patrick Shaw. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, if I could somehow make the connection, just go to Falstaff. Because that time, Stanley kind of came to an end. Mm-hmm. And everybody was at Falstaff.
Everybody. I was the staple in the West End.
Everybody. In the West End, Falstaff Community Center was a staple.
Every day.
For ball, for life. Just for any type of connection.
Absolutely.
Falstaff was where it's at. And I'm glad you took my advice and went and made your connects, and look at you now, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Iggy, you too, man. Real talk. We met, was it 2 summers ago at the Eugene camp? Yes. And you've been a real one as well. Just kept in contact. And every time we see each other, it's mad love. So I got to really shout the both of you out right off the top. And just get this started. I love this conversation that we're going to be having today.
It was such a great thing that day too, man, with the Eugene camp, because it was like, that was the first time I'm seeing you in action. Mm-hmm. And the way you had the kids, like me and my principal, man, she just was like, I love this guy. Yeah. She was like, we gotta figure something out, man, to get this dude in our school doing stuff. So I know, I love what you do, man. Keep doing it, man.
Appreciate that.
It's a beautiful thing, man, for sure.
Appreciate it a lot.
Yes, sir.
Honor.
But I don't want to talk anymore. I want you to talk, and I want you to let people know, what is it exactly what you do?
Absolutely.
When did you start doing it?
Okay, cool. First off, Wood said 2 things that I want to start with. Number 1, there are not a lot of people that look like myself and ourselves within the field that I am in. And the title, the label of chiropractor or physiotherapy, I don't even want to utilize any of those labels. The way that I want to look at it is I want to look at myself as a sports scientist. I want to look at myself as someone who is interested in supporting athletes with their performance and lowering their incidence of injury. I like to call myself a manual medicine clinician. Okay, and that's number one. I want to get rid of those labels and those boxes. And at the end of the day, listen, let's just be real. Most of the sporting athletes are of an African descent, right?
Yes.
And everyone behind the scenes, behind the bench, is not. I want to try and change that narrative. Every single time I have a young person that's on my table that I'm working with, I want to try to plant the seed in their brain that, hey, yes, you can play this game, but you can't play forever.
Right.
So how about you think about being a sports scientist, a clinician in some capacity, a coach, and not just an X's and O's coach, but a performance coach, which allows you to be able to understand this game on the physical aspect. Now go back to school and learn it on the science aspect.
Right.
Need more of us in that realm. We can't just be one-dimensional in terms of just being the jumper, the runner, the catcher, and the thrower. We can be doing so much more. We have the intelligence to do it. Granted, we've been told that we don't and can't, but that's one thing that I really want to get out there and say, no, that's not true. And that's part of the reason why my shift right now is what I'm doing. Yes, I've been in the clinical setting, working with athletes, working in the clinical space, but I recently closed my office for a whole bunch of reasons. But you know what? I'm going to say that Ja told me that it's time to move on and keep it going. And what I'm really trying to do now is educate and teach the next generation of therapists and clinicians out there.
Right.
I realized I love teaching, and I didn't realize I loved it as much as I am doing it now as I'm building out this course. And I want to keep pushing forward with it.
So you say you have a course. You're working on a course right now?
Yes. So interesting story is in 2020, when we were all sitting in our homes doing quote unquote nothing. Prior to that, I had an idea of creating a course that focuses on treating the lower limb, strengthening the lower limb. And back in 2017, I had the idea, and obviously life came in bouts. Then the pandemic came, and I was really forced to sit down with it. And what I created was this course called BASE, and it basically stands for Building an Athletic Structure for Exercise. And what my plan is to launch this course in March 2025, where we have coaches, sport coaches, trainers, clinicians, any discipline that you are in, where you come in and learn about how to manage foot, ankle, lower limb complaints. Because what I was seeing in my practice was there was a lot of people that were coming in and saying, yeah, I got this ankle injury 6 weeks ago, and I still am not better. I went to see this person, that person. I've seen a whole bunch of people, and it hasn't gotten any better. And what I found that I was doing was just taking an overall global look at it, not just taking any shortcuts, not just gearing in on one part of the body that the person came in with. And I was able to get some results. So I want to teach that. And I feel like I have the experience over the past 15 years within clinical practice. And in that year, 2020, was wild. I had over 20 people that walk into the space that tore their Achilles.
Wow.
And what that did for me was I just really dived into the literature and was looking at the fact that there's a lot of gaps from what we were taught in school and what's in front of us. And looking at the intrinsic foot muscles was the start of it. And that's where the course started.
Achilles at a young age seems to be something that kids be popping nowadays. Usually you hear that when they hit the pros or, later on in their basketball career. Some of these kids are experiencing that now.
Yeah.
Do you have any recommendations or any food for thought around that?
Well, obviously, I want any clinicians and coaches out there to take the course, but I will drop some nuggets on how to get that done. Number one, we got to start looking at footwear. A lot of young men and young women are wearing shoes that don't actually are ideal for their foot. Okay, specifically the ones that are growing a lot. Sometimes they're wearing shoes that don't fit at all. And then what ends up happening is you're getting a lot of shortening of the toes because it's all crunched up. Number two, hip movement. Hip extension actually is the main reason why some Achilles tendon ruptures. If you think about when Durant tore his in the finals when we beat their ass and won the chip.
Straight up. 2019.
2019, it was a good year.
I'm still hungover. Still hungover from that champagne.
It was a great, great run. Yeah. But think about it. He stepped back. It's usually when you step back is when that tendon tears.
That's what I thought mine.
Right? And if you don't have enough range of motion within your hip, that force of stepping back has to go somewhere. That's literally what all injuries are. Okay. Force is being applied to the tissue, and it does not have the ability to absorb it, rip, tear, crack, whatever it may be. And that's how the Achilles tendon ruptures.
So, okay. With the Achilles, why does it seem like it's just like, okay, so when Dominique Wilkins tore his Achilles, you know, back in whenever, was it the 90s, 80s, whatever it was, it was like, this was career ending.
Correct.
Why is it not career ending anymore?
Well, again, sports science.
What the hell?
Sports
Like,
science.
It's evolved, man.
Before you tore your
you're
Achilles,
absolutely
your
right.
career is over.
It's
Yeah.
over.
Now it's like, guys, look
Klay
at Kevin
Thompson.
Durant looking better
Look
than
at
he was
Durant.
before.
Yeah.
Clay, right?
Yeah.
Sports science. And with everything, there's advancement, right?
Okay.
So I'll even bring in one more person, Aaron Rodgers, right? Recently, he tore his Achilles. And then within weeks, he was already standing. So there's a new technique where they basically mesh thread through the actual torn Achilles tendon from end to end, and they pull it together. So if you think about it, anything that tears usually will roll up, right? But what they're doing now is that they're putting mesh through all the tears and then pulling it back so it straightens up. And once it straightens up, you can actually have a better chance for it to heal together. Everyone's heard of scar tissue. And if you don't have that pulling together, you're going to have that bunching like this. And that tissue needs to be able to move. And if it doesn't, therefore you can't jump. So back in the day, they probably were just trying to say, hey, you know what, Dominique, let me just throw a bunch of stuff in this area to try and pack it in together. And that does not allow Dominique to jump and do all the great things that he used to be able to do. And henceforth, why he wasn't able to recover from that injury. Yeah, there's science involved with all of this. And then that's a little conversation I was trying to have with my coach this morning, actually, about the eating habits of our players before games. And he's trying to refuse the fact that your eating habits before a game has an effect on your performance.
Oh, for sure.
And 1000% it does. And my point is, science is involved with everything.
When you
Science
say
is involved
eating
with
habit,
everything.
do you mean like what you eat or?
Correct.
Or-
What you eat prior to a game.
You talking like fruits, carbs,
all of that. So if you eat certain types of food, it can slow down your overall ability.
What about if you don't eat?
And that's even a problem too. But some athletes have figured out that they should not eat shouldn't eat at all before they perform. And sometimes it works, but my feeling on that is once you keep advancing in your level of your sport, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it, and you're gonna have some effects of it. So you should definitely have some form of carbohydrate before you eat. But if you're gonna eat something heavy, fatty, greasy, salty, you're not helping your performance at all.
I remember you had the cranberries.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Dried fruit. It's easy. Quick. Gets right into the bloodstream.
You had all the players grabbing the cranberries. I was like, let me get some of those.
Absolutely.
So, Doc, what's your thoughts on kids nowadays? Number one, we're calling them elite.
Yes.
Right? What's your thoughts on that? And second question in that question is like, what's your thoughts on playing multiple sports?
Oh man, this is a conversation I know I could have forever, and we were definitely talking about this offline because we're referring back to your son. And I'm of the belief, and then there's a lot of manual medicine clinicians in my position as well that feels that early specialization is not the route to go. Basically, meaning that your child is only playing one sport at the age of 8 years old. It's not ideal. Okay, it's not ideal for a couple of reasons. One, you're not allowing them to be a child. Remember, these are children. They just start there. Okay, basic economics. And then bringing in the economics is that sadly, a lot of parents are looking at their children as the big ticket, the person that's going to get them out of the situation that they're in. Because let's just be honest, sports is an industry that's $1 million, billion, cajillion dollar industry. And if your child can put a ball in a hoop or run super fast, you potentially could be looking at your child as the way to get you out of whatever financial situation that you are currently in. Secondarily, early specialization leads to injury. Like, this is a fact. You cannot be doing the same thing over and over and over and over again as your body is trying to develop and gain the strength that it needs for the frame, and not think that you're going to have a repetitive strain injury. That's literally what is happening a lot with these young athletes. And then lastly, it's just, if you think about it, the child is growing. Their nervous system is growing. It is best for you to potentially throw as many different types of stimulus at them so they can actually develop the way that you potentially want them to do in the sport that they're wanting to do. For example, I think every single athlete that plays a pivot-based sport, meaning basketball, soccer, football, they should be running track. Like, it's plain and simple. You need to be fast to play those sports.
What about cross country as well?
Anything that involves running.
Fair enough.
Okay. But ideally, a shorter distance, fast performance. That's what we want. If your child is involved with any of those sports, they've got to be involved with track. Secondly, if you can afford it, obviously these are all things if you afford. At the end of the day, back it up. You don't even need to afford, quote unquote, anything. They go to school, participate in these sports in school. They can join the track team. They could actually go to a track and actually run.
Right.
We have something, again, called YouTube that you could potentially Google and find out a great track program a kid could do.
Right.
I also think kids should be doing some form of martial arts or dance. Just the footwork, just the discipline. All those things are applicable to their sport when it's time to, quote unquote, be a pro or a semi-pro or a collegiate athlete.
Right.
Listen, I don't know if you guys saw this a couple weeks ago. Del Curry was on a podcast as well. He was talking about his two boys.
I seen
When
it.
he was here in town, everybody was kind of come from, oh, I want to put your kid in this AAU program, that AAU. He's like, no, you know what? No, they're just going to come to practice with me, shoot around, have fun, and work on their body.
Right.
Whatever that meant. And it meant a lot because, listen, those two boys, they weren't big. They weren't 6'5". They were never going to be 6'5".
Right.
Steph, arguably one of the greatest players that we've ever seen. Crazy skills, crazy talent. Seth was no scrub either. But the fact of the matter that their dad, who recognized the madness that was going on, didn't throw them in every single AAU program out the Yahoo. It just saved it. And then the last point that I want to make.
But to add to that, I feel like Delph, seeing that his kids weren't growing at that pace.
Correct.
At that grade 8 pace or going to grade 9, they were still small and scrawny.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, other kids already tapped into their athleticism, tapped into their size, growing.
Yes.
So they were a little late to the party, but shout out to Del. He did it so smart.
He did it right.
Didn't have them play no AAU till later on in high school.
He did it, absolutely did it right.
Just develop their bodies and develop their mindset.
Absolutely. And then let's take it to the flip side. A man like Zion. You read his story, it's actually pretty tragically sad because this young man in his teens was playing on multiple AAU programs. Multiple. And he had serious injuries when he was a child back then. He was flying around the country playing in different tournaments all the time. Fast forward to his NBA career. What is it? He's been injured every single year. We cannot ignore the fact that this is the case. He's had serious injuries with his knees from then. So now when he gets into the league, poor body metabolism, overweight, and hamstring tears after hamstring tears, knee issues, ankle issues. This is not rocket science. Everybody should be able to see this. It's just too much at a young age. And it definitely has a toll as the person gets into the NBA or the pros.
So that's the issue with the injuries. Because I don't watch NBA like that this year. I haven't watched it like how I watched it last year.
You're missing out, fam.
Just the injuries. I can't, like, I don't want to watch Phoenix if Kevin Durant's not playing. That's just me. I don't want to watch Orlando Magic if Paulo Banchero is not playing.
And now Franz Wagner's out too.
You see them? I can't watch it. What am I watching?
That.
So you know, I don't know. So just them playing. Damn, Zion plays so much basketball. I didn't know, man.
Basketball.
Like I've even seen it playing, going to Arizona in the Under Armour circuit a couple years back, or Las Vegas, I should say. And I remember this team from Tennessee. I forgot the name, but they had some hoopers on it. There was two teams from Tennessee that had some hoopers, but one of the two Tennessee teams actually flew a young man, class of 2030, flew him out from New York down here. Well, not down here, but down in Las Vegas to play. And like, you know, he was one of the top 2030 kids, class of 2030, that is. So I say that to say maybe that was the Zion treatment too. He's probably flying from state to state to play on different AAU teams. And when they finally make it to the pros, they're worn out, man.
Absolutely.
Realistically.
But I think Zion, I seen a picture of Zion and it was floating around Zion at whatever her age he is, and then Bron at damn near 40. And Bron is just like chiseled and looks, and then you see Zion and he got like, I don't want to, but like, you know.
Call it for what it is.
Yeah.
He has extra fat cells.
Yes.
He got that dad bod, man. He got that dad bod.
So is that, has he always looked like that?
So here is, and I know everyone loves to do comparison. And comparison is a thief. Like, we should not be comparing because everyone's different.
Right.
So LeBron potentially could have played in multiple AAU teams, flying all over the country. But that was him. He was okay to do that. Zion was not, clearly. And here's the thing. As a parent, do you want to experiment with your child to see what he or she can do? Right. I would say no. Why would you even want to try to do that? Listen, I'm going to say this outright, and everybody should accept this. LeBron is blessed to do what he's doing. He is a freak of nature. I don't even like to use the word freak, but everybody knows what I mean. Like he's
an outlier, man.
Absolutely. He's special in every single aspect. We cannot compare him to others. We cannot do what he did and say, okay, I'm going to do that with my child. It's not going to work.
Right.
So with regards to his body type, at the same time, LeBron does put a lot of work into his body. They say
Lot
he
of
spends over
dollars,
$1 million plus.
And you were
a
hearing
year.
that like 12 years ago.
Correct. So it's
You know
probably
what I mean?
2.
But I
Absolutely.
also heard that Bron, even when he was in high school, like guys were eating fast food and he had like a bag of nuts.
Yeah.
Like, you
Control
know,
Alt Delete.
yeah,
Control Alt Delete.
a
Absolutely.
bag of nuts.
Yeah,
But,
Control Alt Delete.
but I'm just saying, you know, he had walnuts. He was doing stuff like
he
that.
was
Right,
taking care of his
right.
body,
Yeah.
not
So how
eating
did
crap.
how did he understand that from such a young age?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did he understand that? That's
He just has
crazy.
a circle around him. And even with
Yeah.
my girls' team right now, there's this one young lady on the team. And I keep telling the coach, like, I love this girl. I love the way she plays. Before a game, she's having a peanut butter sandwich. At lunch, she's bringing her own food. Like, she's just locked in. We get on the court. She is the one that's most aggressive.
Right.
She's the one that's doing what needs to be done. When they're hitting her, she's hitting back.
Right.
And she's one of the smallest kids on the team.
There you go.
I rate it.
There you go.
I absolutely rate it. And she's
There you
taking
go.
care of her basketball career
Yeah.
outside of the basketball lines because
Right.
she's eating right.
Eating right. And
Right?
that's the key.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Nutrition is everything, man. What the
It
fuel
really is.
It's the fuel that keeps the engine going.
It really is.
You
And
know what I mean?
conversations that I like having with parents is, listen, rather than trying to dictate how much playing time your child's having, rather than going to every single Foot Locker and getting the latest shoe, how about you just be the sleep coach and the food coach? Make sure your kid is going to bed on
Yeah.
time. This isn't the last thing they're staring at before they go to bed. Make sure that they're having something to eat for breakfast
Mhm.
that doesn't involve any characters on the box. I'm talking about cereal.
Mhm.
Making sure that they're eating lunch that isn't fried. Making sure they have a good amount of fruits, vegetables, protein, carbs at dinner. Make sure they have snacks throughout the day. Be the food coach. Be the sleep coach.
Mhm.
Don't try to be the minutes coach. Don't try to be the shoes coach.
Right.
You don't need that. We don't need any more of those.
Well, you know what? Hopefully we can hit you up offline. You know,
Absolutely.
hit you up on the DMs.
Absolutely.
You could hit us with a menu maybe.
That's
You know
absolutely
what I
not
mean?
a problem. That's not a
So
problem.
you know, not free of cost, obviously. You know what I mean? There's a price for everything.
Absolutely.
You know, but speaking of price,
Mhm.
you know, going back to the multi-sports, you know, some folks living in the hood or living, you know, in the inner cities, you know, they can't afford. And you did mention like they can't afford kids playing multiple sports at an elite level.
Absolutely.
But you did counter it by saying, you know, join your school team.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? There's so many sport teams that schools have to offer at the private level, public level, Catholic level.
Absolutely.
Join it. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
There is an answer. There is a solution to everything.
Mhm.
And we can't just be using the internet, social media, just for entertainment purposes. If this is something that you really want to do as a parent and support your child, make sure you put the best things in place to support your child. Looking at your child as a piggy bank and looking at your child as a one trick pony isn't it. Like, you got to make sure that you're supporting your child in their development. And
Right.
remember, they are a child. They're not little adults.
Right.
And then this is just a part of the reason why I created this course and want to have this workshop. By the way, this workshop that we're doing is leading up to the big course. So next week, Sunday, is the actual second workshop that we're running in December.
Where's the location?
It's located out in Mississauga, West Side,
Mhm.
at Can't Stop Performance and Rehab, which is a clinic that I work at 2 days a week.
Mhm.
From 12 to 3, we're going to have excellent food, nutritious food, of course.
Yes.
We are going to be talking about the way that we look at the foot and ankle. And I want to really expose trainers, clinicians, performance coaches on how you can actually assess someone without even putting your hands on them. Because as soon as you start putting your hands on them, you're going to be influencing the nervous system. And even back up. Clinicians, coaches, I'm going to look right directly at the camera here. When you are treating your athlete, I want you to think about what exactly you're doing with this athlete. What are you trying to influence? If you don't know the answer to that, come out to the workshop, because we're going to expose you to some things that's going to make you really evaluate what you know. And that's the whole purpose of BASE. We want to make sure that everybody has a strong foundation base
Mhm.
to be able to do what you need to do with your athletes, no matter what sport it is. So going back to my point about coaching and training, like, we got to make sure that trainers, coaches, clinicians aren't treating children like mini adults. And I
Right.
find that is a huge problem. That's why a lot of kids are having some of these type of injuries, where they're training too much. They're training 2-a-days and they're eating McDonald's. They're training 2-a-days, eating McDonald's, getting 4 hours of sleep. They're training 3-a-days. They have every time to shoot. Listen, I can go on and on. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up at all,
Right.
right? So that's what we're really trying to push out with our programming.
That is wild.
Well, I'm looking
when
forward
when
to
you
it.
think about it.
12 to 3.
12 to 3
December
next
15th,
Sunday.
next Sunday.
Yep.
Be there, man.
Can't Stop Rehab Performance, 1515 Matheson Boulevard East. Listen, I'm a Scarborough guy, and if I'm coming out to Mississauga, you know it's a real thing.
Come on, man. Let's do it.
That's dope. That's dope, man.
Well, Dr. J, man. Thank you, man.
Appreciate
What I
it.
mean, I already feel like I developed my capacity a bit, especially alongside about the nutrition piece.
Absolutely.
And the sleep. You know what I mean? So I'll definitely be picking your brain some more.
No doubt.
I think everybody, you know what I mean? All our supporters, pick Dr. J's brain, man. You know what I mean?
Don't pick my brain. You can ask me questions. I want my brain to stay right where it is. But in all jokes aside, those two things you can control as a parent. You can control what your child eats. You should be controlling what your child eats as an athlete. You should be controlling what time they go to bed. But listen, and this one might hurt some parents. You cannot be telling your child to be doing these things and you're not doing them yourself.
You're not doing them yourself.
You cannot. You cannot be telling your child, hey man, I need you to eat more vegetables, eat more fruit. And you're going to Tim Hortons, you're getting your bagel and your triple coffee. What the hell is triple anyway? You can't be doing that. These kids will call you out.
Quick story. My wife called me out because like back in the day, I'll say like maybe 2-3 years ago, I used to run a lot. You know what I mean? I used to run early in the morning, try and really revisit my Concordia days. Just make sure I'm running, staying in shape. And now I'm stressing my two boys. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this.
Yeah.
You got to run. You got this. You got this. My wife's like, well, you should be showing them this.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, fuck, shut up, man. What you got to say all that shit for? You know what I mean? I didn't say it in her face. I'll say it in my head.
You would not.
You know what I mean? But I was like,
you better not say it, buddy.
I was like, what you just said, like, yo.
Gotta do it.
You know what I mean? We're, as parents, we are what our kids see every day.
Absolutely.
And if we want them to be something, because there's no manual for this parenting shit, man. You know what I mean?
No,
so we got to create the manual and, you know, learn from mistakes and all that good stuff. So I say that to say, you know what I mean? Be what you want your kids to be.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you gotta illustrate that every day in your household.
For me, it's 1 + 1 = 2.
Straight up.
If you're really trying to support your child. And here's something that I really believe. Sports is the cheat code.
It is.
It is the cheat code for a couple of reasons. One, it allows a young person to develop habits, right? Number two, it teaches them discipline. Number three, it teaches them teamwork.
Yep.
And number four, let's just be honest, to get an opportunity to go to school for free.
Come on.
What are we talking about? Baby? This is a great opportunity specifically for people within the community that don't have financial support and backing.
Bottom line.
So if you can put all the things in place to make sure that you, quote unquote, cheat the system and get free education, why would you not do it? But the issue is you're cheating the cheat system by not doing the right things to get in place, right? And trying to put an 8-year-old on a platform of being elite and tying your shoes and carrying your, come on, man, we're not doing that. We ain't doing that. That's different. We're not doing that. That's a whole complete madness that I will never be a part of.
Real talk, man.
Right? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Dr. J, man, spend some gems, man.
Dr. J, quickly, where could we follow you on social media platforms?
Okay, cool. 2 aspects. Number one, Base Supports is the educational IG account, and I believe my wife, she reconfigured my personal IG. I think it's Dr. J Kerr on IG.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Wifey takes care of that stuff
There
for
you
me.
go.
Yeah, that's the one.
Shout out, Wifey.
Shout
Thank
out
you.
Wifey, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Let's talk about some high school basketball.
Yeah.
I got to talk about, my Tisseltown Collegiate Junior Boys. They faced Martin Grove Collegiate. They beat. The score was, what was the score? The score was 54-37. My junior boys are looking real good right now. Yeah, I got to shout out Aiden. I got to shout out Angel. I got to shout out Nathan, Steven. Who else am I missing? Who else? I forget. But yes, junior boys, they're doing really well. They're 1-0. They play, I think it's Kipling Collegiate this week. But yeah, I'm super excited for my junior boys this year, man. They're putting in the work. Honestly, they're putting in the work not only on the court, but we got them in the weight room this year.
Good.
Nice.
So we're gonna be, because I got a couple of guys like Angel and Aiden who were with us last year. So they kind of know the ropes, and
and they're showing the grade 9.
They're showing the grade 9s.
That's what's up.
And we got some good grade 9s. Like Josh was a good grade 9. Nathan's a good grade 9. Amin's not grade 9, but he's the first year with us. But we got some good talent that just need. We get John Luca. Can't forget John Luca. But we got some good grade 9s that just got to show them the ropes a little bit. They're not used to just running the way we run. We got a thing called 10 and 60 that you know, you got to do 10 up and downs in 60 seconds. And it's just
full court or sideline? Baseline to baseline?
Yes.
God damn, okay.
10 and 60s. And listen, man, last year we had these guys. Like, hey, if we're not going to be good, one thing we're going to be good at is we're going to be in shape.
We're going to be in shape.
We're going to be in better shape than anybody.
You got to rate that.
So, you know, that's what we strive our hat on. And
so can I ask a question? As the sports scientist on the panel
there
today,
you go.
How many times do they run this in a practice?
I try to get them. I try to do at least 3 times.
3 times.
Yes.
Okay. And then the objective of this drill, and here is the challenge that I have, knowing what I know, and then working with basketball coaches, sport coaches like yourself. Yes, I totally agree with you that they need to be in shape, that you need to run to be in shape. Like Kenny the Jet Smith says frequently, you do not play basketball to get in shape. You are in shape and play basketball, right? So if you're doing these 10 runs in 60 seconds and you do it 3 times, what is the recovery time between the runs? Because that's the most important thing.
Right.
Like if you don't give them enough time to recover, there is no way they're going to get any benefit from the actual exercise. You're actually going to be detraining them, overtraining them, and not allowing them to get the benefit of sprinting. Because sprinting needs to be short, it needs to be quick, but the recovery needs to be 1 to 5. So if they run for 10 seconds, they need to rest for 5 times that time, excuse me. And that is the science, quote unquote, involved. The body needs to be able to recover.
Yeah,
so what's the recovery time for that?
My recovery time is we run for a minute and I rest for 2 minutes.
Okay, so it's double at least. Okay, but technically it should be 5 minutes.
It should be 5 minutes.
Correct.
Got you.
And then here's
those kids are gonna love this.
Wait. They're
gonna love this.
Wait, coach. I want you to do this though. I want you to make it an active recovery.
Okay.
Where you give them 2.5 minutes of just rest, and then 2.5 minutes where they're doing something active, and that could be either the wall sit or could it be planks, just something to keep them engaged. Because listen, let's just be honest. These kids are not as active once they're done in basketball practice.
Oh my God.
So I'm not going to try to sugarcoat this. Once they leave basketball practice,
yes.
Or take your pick. So the 5 minutes of doing nothing for these kids, I wouldn't be okay with it. But if we're dealing with our pros, different story. Give them the whole 5 minutes.
Right.
But these guys, split it. 2.5 of absolute nothing, 2.5 of active recovery, push-ups, planks, something. Just not running.
We can do wall sits.
We do 17s. On the Westview side, we do 17s in 1 minute, 20 seconds. And then if they complete it as a group, which they do, we get into our group free throws. Those 5 minutes of just hit 2 in a row.
See, I like that. That's an active recovery.
Yes,
hit 2 in a row.
That's an active recovery.
And 5 minutes to do it as a group, and we have to hit a certain amount.
Because you got to be able to shoot while you're tired.
Exactly, and that's the whole purpose.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose.
And we have to make it as a group. So if one person doesn't make it,
they know the deal.
They got to do it again. So we all got to make it as a group.
Sorry to interject with
no,
my
I love that. I got you. But if they hear 5 minutes, they're gonna
be like, "Yo, coach,
where's Dr. J? Tell him to pull up.
Don't come for me.
You don't want him to pull up.
Exactly.
Trust me. But you got Westview played this week.
We played this week, man. We played Newton Brook this week. Shout out our seniors. They won 60-52. Christoph Amoa, had 34. 34, 5, and 3.
No
That's
way.
my boy.
You know what I mean?
That's my boy right there.
We're getting him ready for his final year. He's gonna be playing prep. So right now we're just trying to get him right.
Is he only grade 11 or 12?
He's grade 12 right now.
Okay, all right.
Grade 12.
Damn,
so
all right.
he's really laying it all on the flying.
Yeah.
And I'm here to support.
No.
You know what I mean?
Awesome.
But our juniors, man, quick story. Shout out Ducky. You know what I mean? Shout out Ducky.
Who wrote that?
From Top Gun.
Okay.
Mr. Coach Donovan Smith.
Yeah, Donovan Smith.
Turning that Newton Brook program into a beast, man.
Okay.
It's beautiful to see. You know what I mean? But he's my elder. Talks a lot of smack.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? He talks a whole lot of smack.
Yes, he
You know,
does.
he let me know that his juniors ain't nothing to mess with. And funny story, we played them already. First game of our season. Right? And mind you, I have nothing but grade 9s, 3 grade 10s. But like the majority of my team are grade 9s.
Gotcha.
So, we went down there and they slapped us by 20. You know what I mean? So that was our first game. We practiced, everybody knows their role now.
Right.
Played in a few tournaments. Chemistry's all right. We're looking good. We won our first regular season game. Going on to our second one versus Newton Brook. You know what I mean? They went on a quick 11-0 run.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I had to call timeout. Gather the troops, let them know, like, yo, they're going to make their run. We're going to make our run. You know what I mean? And, we ended up winning by 1.
Okay, I thought you were about to say you won by 20 or 30.
No. Shout out my young boy Dejan Israel. You know what I mean? He hit the game winning floater.
Nice.
He's the one that wears the mask. The one that I brought up to the Humber Classic.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's gonna be a problem.
He's gonna be special.
And shout out my big man Julian. You'll see him. He's like 6'5". Still growing. Grade 10.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Shout out my young boy, my brother Dane, aka Dingy. One of the illest refs out. You know what I mean? He works with MLSC Launchpad. And he gets
Hold up. Why are you shouting out the refs? Something's going on here. Something's going on here, man.
No, I'll shout out that ref.
Come on, man.
Me and the refs are still beefing. I'm still beefing with all the other refs.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
What are you conspiring in?
But Dingy's my guy, and we got he helped me get my man Julian some size. He wears size 17.
He helped you get that win.
No. He got my man Julian. He wears size 17 kicks.
Wow.
Bro.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And it's hard for mom to find kicks his size.
17.
Size 17. You know what I mean?
Something out for him,
so shout out Ding. He figured out a little something out. And the MLSC Launchpad folks over there, love y'all to death.
Well, let me do it. I'm going to send a text right now.
Got me some size 17 Nikes. Oh, if you seen the kid's face yesterday when I gave it to him, man. Now, this is what basketball's all about. Like, you know what I mean?
Good for him, man.
It's like,
that's amazing.
You put in the work.
Yeah.
And the kicks that he was wearing, they were worn out, man.
Yeah.
But it's so hard for mom to find
17
shoes his
like,
size.
Yeah.
So shout out to those that help find. And there were Nikes. They look solid. I forgot the name brand of it. I forgot whose kicks they are. But yeah, they go hard, man. So at least he put some Nikes on his feet. We got the win. Westview's 2-0 right now. Shout out to Westview Wildcats. We got some work to do. Let's just continue to work, man.
We're gonna get some reels for y'all too, though.
We gotta get some reels for you guys too. My bad.
No, we're gonna figure it out. But moving along to Toronto Tempo, guys. Toronto Tempo. What is your guys' thoughts? Start with you, man. What is your thoughts? Toronto Tempo.
Listen, I just remember 1995 leading up to the release of the Toronto Raptors name.
Yeah.
And there was so many names floating around. There was Towers.
Remember that.
There was the Huskies, which I didn't think was a terrible idea.
I didn't think so either.
Because I still love that jersey, right? That jersey release. But I'm so happy they didn't do it Towers.
Right.
And when they came on the Raptors, initially I was like, looks kind of kiddish. Barney-ish,
I wasn't happy with it either.
Right? But then when I saw the logo, I was like, yo, this is kind of dope. It's kind of dope. They made it dope.
Yes.
And I have the same, I hope it's the same feeling where I'm not in love with Tempo. I'm just being honest. I'm not in love with it. Because I feel like it has the same vibe as Towers. I would have preferred that it was some form of dinosaur just to keep in theme with the Raptors, because I think all the other teams are similar to that. Like if you look at the Mercury, Phoenix, you know what I mean? Like it's in line. So I personally am not in love with it, but I think they're going to work hard to make us fall in love with it because it's a good organization. There's good people that work in there. That's my thoughts.
I mean,
what's your thoughts
we're
on
going to
this?
fall in love with them regardless. It's
true.
It's Canada's only women's professional team.
Absolutely.
But I wasn't feeling the name. Definitely wasn't feeling the logo. The logo kind of reminds me of like Indiana Pacers for some reason, just with the way the ball is and the way the Pacers basketball is. I was like, And then they leaked it on top of that. So we didn't really get a chance to get that full name unveiling. Like, you know what I mean? They leaked that kind of early. And I was like, But, the color schemes, we're going to make it work.
Absolutely.
The name Tempo, unless we're going to be moving the tempo crazy on the court, You know what I mean? Like you said, maybe something similar to the Raptors. You know what I mean? Or something similar to the Six. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something. But Temple, I think I'll grow to love it because I know our team's gonna be crazy and the support's gonna be there regardless. The gear's gonna be on point. So it is what it is.
It's giving me New Balance vibes. Like when I seen it, I'm like, I didn't understand it. I'm like, what are they like showing us a new Balance sneaker or something? I was like, oh, the Toronto. I didn't understand it at first. I'm with you. When I first seen the Toronto Raptors, I was like, Raptors, what is it? What does it have to do with Toronto? Raptors? Like, then that first jersey came out, I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Absolutely.
Then to me, that's still one of the best jerseys ever.
Right.
I love the Toronto Raptors, the first jersey. And I think Vancouver Grizzlies jerseys was like one of the craziest jerseys as well. But I don't know. Toronto Temple. That doesn't give me Toronto vibes for me. I don't know. Listen, if we win games, I guess who cares? But but I don't know. I'm not really feeling that right now. Toronto Temple. I think they could have been more creative
it grows
with
on
it.
to you too. But yeah, I'm on the same boat.
What do you guys think about leaks, though? Do you think leaks are actual leaks, or is it designed by the organization to release it?
I think it's designed, man.
Because I didn't understand. Kayla Gray, I seen him, and she's like, they leaked it. I'm like, leaked it? Like, what?
I guess it was supposed to come out later that week.
I don't know. That's just weird to me.
You know what? Bots, man. Damn bots.
Anyways, let's talk about some NBA news. Let's talk about Trae Young. So
put some respect on his name.
Trae Young right now, he has the Hawks. I think we were both wrong with that too. With the Hawks,
still early.
It is still early, but
they're in fifth right now.
They're in fifth.
Yeah.
They're 13 and I think 11 right now. They're fifth place. He's averaging, I think, 21 and 12. 21 and 12 assists.
Yeah.
He had a crazy game against the Lakers on Friday, man, when he dropped 30 and 20.
Call that.
30 points and 20 assists.
Yeah.
My question for you guys, where do you rank Trae Young in the point guard conversation right now in the league to date, 2024, 2025 season? Where do you rank Trae Young? Let's start with him.
Listen, when I watch basketball, I am all about defense. I am a defense first guy, and I am going to be honest with you. I am not a Trae Young guy because he just gets cooked on defense. There's no effort. If I'm a coach, if I'm a player, I'm posting his ass up every single time, and I'll beat his ass up down there. Especially if he's shooting them threes from the logo in front of my face, I'm gonna bust his ass down in the post. That's just me. Like, I don't like any basketball player that takes time off of defense, but has all the energy for offense. I don't rate it. So I don't rate him. Enjoy your 21-12 during the regular season. Playoff time come, guess what? You get your ass busting defense. So he ain't gonna make it. That's it.
It's the shot selection for me with him. But go ahead. What is your thoughts on him?
I'm gonna kind of play devil's advocate. I feel like he is a top 8 point guard right now in the league.
Top 8?
Top 8.
Top 8.
I'll give him top 8.
Who's the 7 before him?
The 7 before him would be Fox, will be Curry, will be Ja, will be Shea, will be Dame.
Luka
don't gotta count Luka.
Yeah. You
gotta count Luka. And
What about Brunson? Do you have Brunson?
You have one more, Brunson.
Okay, I'll give him top 10. Top 10.
Brunson or Melo?
LaMelo? Nah.
Melo?
I think LaMelo and Trae are in the same category.
Agreed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But Brunson.
Kyrie still there?
Kyrie, for sure.
So top 10.
Top 10.
Okay.
I'll give him a top 10. But I mean, his work, his body of work especially on the offensive end, has been steady.
For sure.
Right? It's up to the coaching staff to hide him defensively. You know what I mean? They did a great job. Golden State did a great job of hiding Steph Curry at times. You know what I mean? And I always say that Steph and Trae, similar games, similar impacts. Their points are loud. They can be demoralizing. It can help you win games. Because mind you, these guys are on like a 5 to 6 game winning streak right now. They beat Cleveland twice. You know what I mean? So I think like even if Cleveland and Atlanta meet up in the playoffs, I think Atlanta can upset those guys. I think it's all about matchups.
They got the firepower to do it.
They got the fighting power to do it. You know what I mean? And I watched both those games, and Garland didn't want no smoke with Trae. Like Garland wants to give you the business, but he doesn't. He can't I guess because Trey's shooting from so far, you know what I mean? Keeps you on the island. They beat the Lakers. They beat the Bucks.
Hunter's good too, man.
He's very good.
Nice.
They beat
Coming off the bench.
and Clint Capella still goes unnoticed, but he is an anchor defensively.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, they're on like a 5 to 6 game winning streak. They got Denver coming up. You know, I don't know what's going on with Denver right now. They just lost to Washington, and Washington didn't win a game since October 30th.
That's embarrassing.
You know what I mean?
They ain't win a game all November. That's
all November.
That's sad,
right?
for an NBA team.
We'll see. We'll see if they can extend, if Trey can extend this winning streak. But we got to start putting a little bit more respect on his name, man.
Yeah, I agree. I like Trey, and I hear what you're saying as well as far as the defensive end. He just doesn't try, and that's one thing that annoys me with Luka. Why it's hard for me to put Luka as, because every year we come and everybody says Luka's going to be MVP. But I'm like, Luka doesn't understand what defense is.
Right.
He just doesn't care about that. He doesn't try. It's just he's allergic, right? So I hear what you're saying with the defensive side, but man, to get 20 assists. Like Trey, we know Trey for being this guy who he's kind of wants to mirror his game after Curry, right? He likes to shoot the long ball a lot from deep, which I hate. But he gets guys involved though.
He does.
He does.
He's a point guard.
He gets guys
about it.
To average 12 assists,
No
you
doubt.
got to be tops in the league right
Has
now.
to be 12.3, man.
It is. He's
got to be.
So I rate that where you can get 30, but you can get your guys involved. That's very impressive to me.
Yeah.
Do I put him as a top tier point guard? I do, but I don't. There's a lot of guys that I would put ahead of him. So I'm with you on the the 8-10 range.
Right.
But he's solid, man.
You don't want to see him in the playoffs, man. Certain teams just don't want to see him, man.
Well, we've seen him deal with New York and things like that in the playoffs. We've seen him in a playoff run do really well.
Right.
So when you say matchups and they've already beat the Cavs twice, I can see that being like, messing with those guys' head, man. And he can have the advantage over there if they ever meet in the playoffs.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
yeah. Let's talk about Lakers. The Lakers struggles, man. In recent years, they had, what are the coaches they had? They had Darvin Ham. Who else did they fire from that?
Who did they let go?
Who's it
Oh,
before
crap.
him? Yeah, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
They fired a few coaches. Frank Vogel.
Frank Vogel,
So
yes.
Frank Vogel,
Ham.
Darvin Ham,
Yeah.
and now they have
JJ Redick.
They have JJ Redick, and they're in the same position that they were in with both of those coaches.
Right.
I know for sure Darvin Ham. I'm not 100% with Vogel. I know he did win. It was Vogel with the one that won the championship. Yes, with the Bubble championship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Darvin Ham gets fired. They had the exact same record. I think it was like last week, the same exact record, the same point.
Right.
What is your thoughts on the Lakers struggles right now? Because I'm hearing a bunch of different things. I'm hearing LeBron should just retire and give the reign to AD.
And I think
I'm hearing that
Hoopers
AD.
I think all hoopers at any level that loves the game of the NBA is gonna say that. At the end of the day, Lakers are 12 and 11, right? They're 10th in the West.
Yeah.
Right. They gave 134 points in back-to-back games against Atlanta and the Heat. That's
To lose by 40 something to the Heat is embarrassing.
That's
I'm
134.
sorry. That was embarrassing.
Right? But I mean, as long as LeBron gets his stats, are the Lakers playing for LeBron or are they playing to win?
Well, I think the honeymoon is over with the Lakers. I feel like
for LeBron.
Well, I believe that the whole Bronny thing was the season. Get him in, him and his dad on the court together, make history. Season's done. In my opinion,
it's moving like that. I mean, LeBron did as a 40-year-old because all the GOAT arguments. You know what I mean? For all the LeBron sexuals out there, they're gonna hit you with, LeBron just had a 30-point triple-double against the Hawks, but you lost, right? He's taking all these shots. He's taking all these shots. He's still moving like he's LeBron of old. You know what I mean? And it's taken away from the Young Bucks. It's taken away from AD's game. The game should be played through AD.
And I think that's how it was. They were doing it in the beginning of the year.
LeBron wasn't having it.
They're running through AD.
LeBron is averaging this year 23, 8, and 9. You know what I mean? So
that's
at
pretty
40,
damn good,
that's
man.
That's amazing.
It's pretty damn good.
But at what cost are we doing this, fellas? Like, cut it out, man. Like, LeBron, you got to take a back seat. There's no way you're taking more field goal attempts than AD in the fourth. In these last two games of losing 100, you're giving up 134 points. That's the remainder of the team saying, yo, I ain't want to play D right now, man. You know how much time that be running up and down the floor, not even touching the ball, bro? You know what I mean?
Yo, that's a good point. My segue right back to where I love the game is on defense. So if you watch any Lakers game and just watch LeBron, when it's help side defense.
Oh, man, come on, dog.
When it's him playing defense. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't want nobody coming after me. This is one of the reasons why I don't rate him. I can't rate him as the GOAT because I would never see Kobe. I would never see Kobe take a playoff on defense. I would never see
MJ at 40 with the Wizards.
Not doing it.
He was playing D.
Playing defense. I can literally see sometimes LeBron's arms by his side and he's just shrinking and then not getting back on defense, not running back.
Right.
Yeah.
How is that okay? This is your best player, your GOAT, not coming back on defense and sulking? I'm not okay with sulking. As a grown man, henceforth why the Lakers are not going to be doing well because their defense sucks and their leaders is a suck. There you go.
Okay, so do you guys blame any of this on the coaching, JJ Redick?
No, defense is
anything.
effort.
Does anything fall back on? So this is a defensive issue.
This is all effort, not even defense or offense.
It's effort.
It's effort and defining roles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Coach Redick has really defined roles, or maybe he has, but LeBron does not have a role yet. And until LeBron gets a role,
LeBron don't have a role?
No, he don't have a role.
Maybe he's not accepting the role that he's being given.
Maybe that too.
That's the thing.
Maybe that too. But until we get over that,
I think he has a role, but I just don't think he's accepting it.
Therefore, that's what I'm saying. Therefore, he doesn't have a role because he's not accepting the role that's given to him. He still wants to take all these field goal attempts at 40.
Okay, so this is the thing, right? Everybody says that AD should be screaming and yelling for the ball, give me the ball. But I'm saying if that's the recipe for success, why does he have to yell and scream for that basketball?
What if that's just not him?
Yeah, if it's not him, right?
I think that's him.
And if that's the recipe for success, and we all know running through AD is what makes the most sense, and that's how we're gonna win. Because he was averaging like 30 and like 12 or something like that in the beginning of the year. I think the numbers dropped a little bit, but this guy's was averaging 30.
I remember hearing Rondo talk about his time with the Pelicans, and it was him, Drew Holiday, Boogie Cousins, and AD. And he said, in regards to, I'm paraphrasing, but in regards to everybody defining their roles, like Boogie had a hard time. He used to be the guy at Sacramento. So he's used to the ball going through him. He was like, nah, fam, the ball got to go through AD. You can create all the havoc in regards to everybody's watching you and everybody's like just taking you in when it's time for buckets, but you got to be the decoy. Everything got to run through AD. So
some guys have a hard time
somebody on the coaching staff that LeBron respects got to have that heart-to-heart with him.
Well, that's why JJ Redick was why he wanted him there, because JJ Redick is kind of like, you know, whatever is an extension of LeBron. Whatever LeBron feels and says, JJ is going to go with that.
Right.
So that's why I asked you about the coaching aspect of this. Has fall on JJ. I know the effort shouldn't and those things, but just the actual basketball
X's and O's. To answer your question, it should. And at the same time, I remember Darvin Ham looking at the body language of the Lakers, especially AD, last year with Coach Ham. There was time when he's just like shrugging his shoulders, like, what kind of plan is this? Or always kind of discrediting Darvin.
Let's see if that happens, because they're in the same boat as they were last year.
Let's see.
Yeah.
A lot of shrugging their shoulders on defense, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
No one sitting in no chairs. Just shrugging shoulders.
Okay, so let's move along to hip hop. This has been killing. Like, my phone has just been going crazy with this topic here, man.
These Kendrick bots, man. You guys are funny,
they
man.
just destroy us.
Disrespectful.
Yeah. Anyways, Kendrick Lamar tour, and we got the Drake tour. What is your thoughts on Kendrick doing? So apparently he booked out another day in Toronto. So he has 2 dates now in Toronto.
But why is he booking another day? Is it because there's a high demand?
Well, I would assume there must be a high demand if he's booking out another date. Right?
No, because I was hearing stuff about the tickets being too high, and
I also heard that too. So
Right.
I'm a little confused on that. If the tickets are too high, and he hasn't sold out the first one, why would he do it? Why would he book out to do another one? Where's it in the Rogers Center?
Yeah, the Rogers Center.
And then we got Drake doing the I Need a Max Win tour in Australia, which I believe that is booked out. I think they had like over 200,000 people waiting to buy tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And Kendrick Lamar had about 93 people or something like that.
At the end of the day, it's like Super Bowl, World Cup. That's what we're talking about right now, man.
So what is your thoughts? Will you be attending? Will you guys be attending the Kendrick Lamar concert when it comes to town?
You know what? I think that's going to be an experience. Why not? You know what I mean? If I can get some affordable tickets, you know what I mean? I'm in there.
Because he's touring with SZA.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. You know what I mean? I've never been to a concert held at the Sky Dome before. You know what I mean? It's not the Sky Dome no more. My bad.
You're going to get in trouble using that Sky Dome word.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's the Rogers Center.
You know what? Them Rogers Center folks should get in trouble for having the Kendrick concert at their facility. You know what I mean? Because they're not doing it at Scotiabank Arena. I wonder why. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's another topic for another day. I'm not going to get into all that. You know what I mean? And Toronto Blue Jays actually promoted the Kendrick Lamar concert. You know what I mean? I was like, did Drake do anything to the Rogers Center? I don't know. You know, but
so you think that's foul play of them
kind of
for the Toronto Blue Jays Instagram page?
From a loyalty standpoint, you know what I mean?
But if they're having the concert at their facility, don't they have to promote it?
I'm being very petty.
I'm just saying.
I'm being very petty right now, man. I'm being very petty
or just not have it at all at that Rogers Center.
I mean, why have it at the Rogers Center? I don't know, man.
So you'll be buying tickets.
I mean, I seen the prices for the nosebleeds.
What are they going at?
They were like at 150.
That's not regular, or that's not average?
And in the nosebleeds?
Yeah.
In the Rogers Center, that's high up.
That's high up. That's like
way.
I don't know. I don't go to concerts that much. You know what I'm saying? So
what is question for you guys? What does the Rogers Center hold? How much people does it hold in that?
I think it's 60. Maybe
60,000?
60K.
Yeah. Okay, so that's like
a lot better.
So that's like 2 or 3 times more than what the Raptor. I think Scotia holds like 19 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
1,000?
19, 18.
Oh wow.
right.
So that's double.
Triple.
Right. You think if it gets sold out, that'll be dope. That'll be something that these Kendrick bots will definitely hang their hat on. You know what I mean?
So do you guys think that Drake can do an arena tour? Do you guys think he can do one?
He's never done one before?
No.
Of course he can.
He's only done like Madison Square Garden.
Oh, okay.
Just like stadiums. He hasn't done an arena.
I mean, 200,000 in Australia, something like that.
Yeah, 200. I think it was 256K.
Like I said, we're
waiting.
Now this whole Kendrick Drake argument, it's going to be international versus the States. It's going to be like, all right, you got the Super Bowl or the World Cup. You know what I mean? It's gonna turn into that because, this is not gonna stop. It's not stopping for now, man. What side you on, man? What side you on?
When Kendrick comes to Toronto in the summer 2025, does he perform not like us?
Absolutely, he will. Why would he not?
I think he's gonna perform it, but not. You probably won't be able to drop the PDF line.
He's gonna go crazy
and stuff like that.
No, he's gonna go crazy. If he doesn't perform that song, everybody's gonna call him out. He has to perform that song
in Toronto.
Absolutely.
That's the reason why he has 2 dates. Maybe the second date's just the one song only.
For 2 days, he's gonna be screaming that stuff.
Oh boy,
every single word. If I was Drake, I'd go to the concert, front row, and just dance and just enjoy the show.
For real, eh?
If I'm him, I'd just go to the show and just like.
Not throwing no chairs or nothing.
Nah,
like 50 and something.
You're not doing it at the Rogers Center. What you can get away with at them smaller venues, you're not gonna get away with it over there at the Rogers Center. There's gonna be millions of police. Everybody's gonna be there. He's gonna be good. Nothing will happen to him.
If he plays Not Like Us, the full track in Toronto.
He might run it back like 5 times.
I see that too.
Nah, that ain't happening.
He gonna run it back like 5 or 6
It ain't
times.
I might do it
happening,
6
bro.
times.
It ain't
Six
happening.
God.
Yeah, you see, and you know how everybody's gonna like, oh my God, he's diabolical.
Oh, my
He played
goodness.
it back 6 times for the 6th
Oh,
God.
boy.
Nah,
Do you know?
Nah, I can't see that.
He has no choice.
I don't think Kendrick even wants that type of smoke.
He gonna play it.
You know
I'm
what I
telling
mean?
you.
Being in Canada, like, you're gonna have to go back to the airport. There's nowhere to run, bro. Regardless.
Bro, he's gonna have the National Guards
So be it.
there, making sure he gets to that venue and back. He's good.
I don't know, man.
This is Kendrick Lamar we're talking about
No,
here.
I'm not
We're
saying-
not talking.
I'm not-
It's just like Drake. If he was doing a show in LA, he can say and sing whatever song he wants. They're not stopping that.
Mm.
If he was performing in the Staples Center, they're not gonna do anything to stop that. They cannot. He's too big of an artist. If he wants to
Fair
go
enough.
perform at them little strip clubs,
Yeah.
then you got problems.
Right. But
Then
when
you
you're
got
in big
problems.
stadiums and
Big
I got
stadiums is too
you.
much.
I got
It's too
you.
much security.
No.
Too
McKinnon.
much.
And you know he's
Agreed.
not gonna do nothing. Like Kendrick's not gonna be going no after parties. or nothing
Kendrick's
like
not
that.
going to Hong Shing. No,
Right.
he's not. Stop it. He's not going to Hong Shing.
Right.
He's not going to what's